Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Cynthia Makeover. Today I'm going to be glamming my client up for her birthday shoot. So let's jump straight into this video. I'm going to be using my wipe to clean up the face, just to remove dirt. Then I went ahead to use my Kiss Beauty Spray to hydrate the skin. Allowed it to absorb into the skin. Before moisturizing the skin, for moisturizer, I'm using my cetaphil moisturizer to moisturize the skin. So after applying the moisturizer with my brush, I went ahead to use my finger to massage it into the skin. After that, I'm going to let it dry into the skin before moving on to primer. For primer, I'm going to be using this Kiss Beauty Foundation Primer. This is going to give the makeup a very good base to sit on. Without primer, your foundation is not going to stay. Without primer, your makeup is not going to last. So primer is very important. So after the primer, I'm going to let it dry before moving on to this mattifying primer. I'm going to be using this classic mattifying primer. I'm going to be applying it on her T-zone area, which is the oily areas on her face. So this mattifying primer is going to help mattify the T-zone area. So next, moving on to foundation, I'm going to be using this L'Oreal foundation. I'm going to be leaving the link in my description box. So I started applying it from one side with a flat brush, then went ahead to use my damp beauty sponge to blend the foundation into the skin. So if you want to achieve a flawless finish, foundation is how you apply and blend the foundation. I always advise you start blending from one side. If at the end of the day you want to build up, you can go ahead to add foundation, but start with a little quantity, blend properly into the skin before you move on to the other side. So can you see how well blended it looks? After that, I'm going to be setting the face, then allow it to dry. This is going to help keep the foundation intact. Then I moved on to contour. For contour, I'm going to be using this shade of L'Oreal foundation to contour her face. So contouring the face means using a foundation or concealer shade that is 2 to 3 shades darker than the skin to contour the face. So after blending, next is to apply my cream blush. I'm going to be using this Nubanbeauty cream blush. I'm going to be applying it above her cheekbone, then use my beauty sponge to blend. So after blending, next is to highlight the face. I'm going to be highlighting the face with this Milani concealer in the shade 140, and it is best to use a concealer shade that is 3 shades lighter than your skin to highlight the face. After that, I'm going to be using my beauty sponge to blend the concealer on the highlighted area. And while you're highlighting the face, there's no need packing too much concealer. A little goes a long way. Gone are the days we used to pack too much concealer on the face. Trust me, if you apply a little quantity and blend it, you achieve a flawless finish look. So start with a little quantity. If you want to add more, you can add more. Make sure you start with a little quantity. After blending in the concealer, I'm going to be contouring the nose with the same shade I used to contour the face. So I'm using a flat brush to apply it first before using my beauty sponge to blend to avoid any harsh lines. So after blending, next is to set the concealer with this setting powder from Milani. Before that, I went back with my beauty sponge to blend the areas underneath the eyes to avoid creasing. Then I went ahead to set. So while you're setting, do not pack too much setting powder. When you're applying product on the face, start with a little quantity. Trust me, a little of this setting powder goes a long way. If you start applying with so much setting powder, you end up having a cakey outcome. It's advised you start with a little quantity, then set properly, like don't pack too much set. So after setting the concealer on the highlighted area, I'm going to be setting the rest of her face with this Avoir powder in the shade 01. So if you want to set the rest of your face, it is best to use a shade that is your exact skin tone to set the rest of the face. Do not use a shade lighter or darker. Make sure the shade you're using matches with your skin tone. So after setting the rest of the face, I'm going to be doing my dry contouring, which is low light contouring. I'm going to be taking this shade here from my becharm powder palette. This dry powder is 2 shades darker than her skin. I'm using it to set the cream contour that I did earlier. So after that, I'm going to be using the same shade to contour her nose. So after contouring the nose, I went ahead to use my powder brush to blend again to avoid any harsh lines. Then after that, I'm going to be applying my powder blush. I'm going to be taking this shade here from my Cheesky blush palette and apply it above her cheekbone. So after that, I'm going to be using this super stay powder. This is a lighter shade. I'm going to be applying it on the highlighted area just to give it a little bit of coverage. After that, I'm going to be using my powder brush to blend everything together to avoid any harsh lines, any demarcation. So after blending everything together, I'm going to be setting the face with my Kiss Beauty Spray. This is going to help reduce the powder effect and also help all the product to sit properly into the skin. After that, I allowed it to dry before moving on to baking. For baking, I'm going to be using the same setting powder I used to set the face to bake the face. So after baking the face, I'm going to be using my spoolie brush to brush her brows. Then I went ahead to do the eyeshadow. Before applying the eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my Viange eyeshadow base to prime her lid. So after priming the lid, I'm going to be moving on to eyeshadow. I'm going to be taking this peach shade from my Cheesky blush palette. This time around, I'm using my blush palette. I'm going to start applying this from the outer corner using my eyeshadow blending brush, then gently blend it towards the inner corner of her lid. So after that, I'm going to be taking this shade from my Anniesbeauty eyeshadow palette. I'm going to start applying it only on the outer corner using a different eyeshadow brush. So next, I went back with the same eyeshadow color from my Annie's Beauty. I went back with the same brush. I'm going to gently pat it in, like gently pat it in with the same brush. So after that, I went back with the brush I used to apply the first eyeshadow. I went back using it to blend so there won't be any demarcation. After that, I'm going to be applying the same eyeshadow on her lid just to cover up the space. Honestly, what I had in mind to create, I was unable to do that because I was in a hurry. She came very late for her shoot. Her photographer was already calling her, so I had to just do what was in my head. After that, I'm going to be applying some pigment. This is a light pink pigment. I'm going to be applying it on the inner corner of her lid. So what I did first, I used my brush to apply small glitter glue. I always use my glitter glue. First, I applied a little on her lid before placing the pigment. This is going to help hold your pigment so that it doesn't drop and ruin your face or ruin her face either. After that, I went back with my eyeshadow blending brush to blend. After blending, taking off the excess fallout from the eyes, then I'm going to be adding some setting powder on the outer corner of her lid to define the lid. After that, I'm going to be lining our upper and lower lash line with my Karite gel liner, the black shade. I preferred the lip the way it was, but she wanted a glossy lip, so I had to gloss her lip. So guys, what do you think? Do you like the lip the way it was, or do you like it glossy? For me, I like the lip the way it was. So after glossing the lip, I'm going to be prepping her lower lashes with the same serum mascara. So what I'm doing right now, I'm doing what is called finishing touches. I'm trying to blend. So I'm going to be dusting off the excess powder on the highlighted area. I'm going to be using that lighter shade of powder that I used on the highlighted area. I'm going to be using it to dust off the excess powder on her face. So after that, I went back with my powder brush to blend everything together. If you check very well, I've been doing a lot of blending. Blending is the key to a flawless finished look. After blending, I tried to press her natural and false lashes together, but she wouldn't let me. I was just trying my best. Her eyes are so sensitive. So after that, I'm going to be setting the face with my Keys Beauty spray. So after setting the face, I'm going to let it dry properly into the skin before moving on to highlighter. I'm going to be using this Nubanbeauty highlighter. This is their lighter shade. I'm going to be applying it on the places I want to highlight. So after that, I went back with my brush to blend so there won't be any harsh lines. Then I'm going to be applying a little bit of my mismetic cheek glaze on her face, that's on her forehead, above her cheekbone, just to make the face, glow. After that, I'm going to be setting the face with my Keys Beauty, allowed it to dry before sealing it up with my finishing spray. Guys, this is the last process, and guys, this is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.